Here's a concept I want to introduce to you. The cinema stock market. In 2014, right after David Ayer's Fury is released, my brother turns next to me at Thanksgiving dinner and says, "I'm buying stock in Shia LaBeouf right now. I'm buying low. Give it a few years, and we'll see the same energy and passion he brought to his role as Boyd Swan and Fury to more projects, and he's gonna be a big star again." In 2012, it looks like my brother made bank, because both The Peanut Butter Falcon and Honey Boy have showcased that people are excited for a return for Shia LaBeouf, and that he's willing to give himself entirely for the work he is committing to. While his career was certainly in a slump, his comeback was alright. So this is what I want to talk about. The idea that aspects of the film industry have a value based on their perceived success or probability for success. For example, Christopher Nolan has a new film coming out in July 2020 called Tenet. As of this point, we know that the film has a $200 million budget, stars John David Washington, Robert Pattinson, and Elizabeth Debicki, and features Nolan's signature twist on the concept of time. We have a first trailer that appears very exciting and has garnered interest from casual moviegoers as well as critics, and Nolan has a long history of high-quality movies being released that make studios money and appeal to wide audiences and receive critical award recognition. So right now, Tenet is worth a fair amount on the cinema stock market due to all of the reasons why this film will be a success. Now, after July, the value of Tenet on the cinema stock market is going to shift. If Tenet makes a profit at the box office, has widespread critical appeal, and even receives a few Academy Award nominations, the value of Tenet is going to rise. But if the film doesn't do well, gets lukewarm responses from moviegoers and critics, the value of Tenet will fall. This concept is what drives a lot of the Hollywood movie industry. It drives the award season between the Guild Awards and Critic Awards and the Academy Awards, and it drives what figures in the industry, like actors, writers, directors, producers, to get regular work. It drives what movies get picked up and which ones stay in development. Hell, for years or even decades, this idea of what's hot and what's gonna sell and what's gonna get people to leave their house and stop watching The Office and drive all the way to the movie theater and realize you didn't select your seat ahead of time, so now you have to buy tickets in the front row, pay $54.96 on the small popcorn, salt and butter, and the deal with the other people that are in the theater that think it's their own personal time to have conversations with their friends, scroll through their feeds. If you were just gonna sit in pictures on Instagram, why wouldn't you just stay at home and save yourself the hassle? And that's what everything really comes down to. Success, money, clout, or at least the perception of those things based on your value to the industry and to the public. Are we gonna let Brendan Fraser play Nova in the next MCU movie? Well, let me just check the cinema stock market and no, that's not gonna happen. No, that's not gonna. But if we went back 20 years, maybe we would, because The Mummy made $415 million and he's a fairly bankable star. So how does the system work? Well, just imagine positive things happening towards people or films in the industry, and those things each add value to the cinema stock market. Did you receive a nomination for the Academy Awards for your performance? Slap $1 to that value because people want to work with you now. Did you win an Oscar for directing? Slap $2 onto that stock. Did you star in a feature film that not only made back its budget but also made the studio lots of profit? Buy. Did you direct your first feature film and it received across-the-board critical acclaim that played at festivals and got people wondering, hey, who is this guy? Who's that guy? When it comes right, who's that guy? It's up someone I never knew anyone could be so. I'm gonna buy and then make $446 million at the box office and receive 14 Oscar nominations and then lose to Moonlight in the greatest moment ever to be broadcast on national television.
Moonlight, Best Picture.
But this value goes both ways. Things can happen that cause the value to go down. Can't find work because no one ever wants you on their set?
I'm Chevy. Go yourself.
Chevy Chase stock going down. Did you star in the box office bomb of a movie musical, Cats, and terrify everyone with your furry skin? Sell right this second?
Cat got your tongue?
Were you Nick Cage, and did you start spending your $150 million fortune on lavish purchases such as a pet octopus, a deserted island in the Bahamas, a pyramid tomb in New Orleans that he might bury himself into when he dies, shrunken pygmy heads, and a 70 million year old dinosaur skull that cost $276,000 $100,000 turned out to be stolen, and then Cage had to return it to the Mongolian government? And because you spent all of your money and you need money fast because you owe the IRS $6.2 million, quick, Drive Angry, Season of the Witch, Ghost Rider, Spirit Vengeance, stolen. Yeah, Nick Cage doesn't have a good cinema stock value. So, let's look at a specific case study and see if I can paint a broader picture of this concept to you. Robert Pattinson, filmography, 2005, Cedric Diggory and Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire. Popular franchise, endearing character, movie made a truckload of money, stock value $1.75. 2008 to 2012. Uh-oh.
God, please,
This is
no!
it.
No!
It's Twilight!
No! No!
This franchise does very well at the box office through its entire run, but it absolutely destroys any chance Robert Pattinson had at a successful film career. Critical embarrassment, his performance is considered a joke in both mainstream and critical circles. He's also pretty open about how much he despises the character he's contractually obligated to play.
Like it was a book that wasn't supposed to be published.
But he does have very devoted fans that are there to support him as a celebrity and a star. His value goes up since he's leading a successful franchise, but is limited due to the lack of opportunities he has outside of the Twilight saga. Scorsese ain't gonna want to work with him, or any major director who feels that the label of teen fandom will follow him in his performances wherever he goes. Also, this.
I like watching you sleep. It's kind of fascinating to me.
Stock value, $4.75. 2012 to 2015. Dead Zone. He's working minor films to try and work his way back up to a level of respectability so people want to work with him again, but nothing he's doing is getting recognition or money. Stock value, $2.25. 2016 to 2017. The Dead Zone starts to become a little less bleak, and Pattinson starts getting recognition working supporting roles for smaller projects, The Childhood of a Leader and Lost City of Z being two examples, and people are starting to catch on. Pattinson is lending his name to smaller but more critically acclaimed directors and finding interesting and complex characters to play. But what people don't know is that in 2014, Pattinson rung up the Safdie brothers and was like, "Hey, I want to be in your next movie." And they were like, "Oh, you saw their last movie?" And he was like, "Nah, I saw a single screen cap. I want to be in your next movie." And they were like, "What?" And so we get Good Time, baby. Critical success, award nominations start falling from the sky. Everyone starts talking, "Hey, you know Robert Pattinson?" Yeah, the Twilight dude who says,
I like watching you sleep.
no, I mean the dude who says,
You disgust me!
But I love you.
I don't want your love. I've never loved you.
Good Time launches Robert Pattinson back in the good graces of the industry, and everyone is just wondering what he's gonna do next. Stock value, $3.50. 2018 to the present day. Oh, what a wonderful years it's been for Robert Pattinson. Putting in the work, finding interesting projects, and not letting celebrity consume him is finally paying off. And this is where everyone starts wanting to work with him and getting a piece of the incredible performances that Pattinson is giving. High Life, The Lighthouse, The King, 3 performances in the span of 12 months that put Pattinson back in the spotlight, especially The Lighthouse. The film tripled its budget. He's working with Robert Eggers, who just had major critical success work with his previous film, The Witch, and he's acting opposite of Willem Dafoe, another actor whose value has gone up in the past few years on the cinema stock market. Not only this, but news of his upcoming projects are also raising the value of Pattinson, namely his signing on to be the titular Caped Crusader in Matt Reeves' upcoming Batman film.
It ends tonight, Batman. Or should I say, Butthead.
Along with a supporting role in the aforementioned Tenet, we are on the cusp of Pattinson reaching a level of stardom that overtakes his time spent as Edward Cullen and lends him a level of prestige that will put him as one of Hollywood's top A-listers. Stock value, $4.50. But man, it's gonna be going up real soon. This is an example of a stock value fluctuating throughout an individual's career, and how that value affects the opportunities and perceptions of a career. And it's not just a film's success which can determine the value of an individual, because personal decisions and beliefs can fluctuate that value as well. Scarlett Johansson delivered 2 incredible performances this year in Marriage Story and Jojo Rabbit, but many within the industry have already counted her out in the race to win an Oscar for either performance because of her controversial statements that she made in the past year. Mel Gibson was sent in a complete recession of his value, not because he made a bad movie, but because he got pulled over for drunk driving and called his girlfriend a Cool. So keep the cinema stock market in mind when you're looking at various people and projects in the industry. Understanding where the industry and the public place their value tells a lot about us as a culture, and movies as being both an art and a commodity, and allows us to take peeks into the future of where these industries are going to be in a few years. For the longest time, the most valuable aspect of a movie when being sold was its A-list stars, who could sell the entire movie no matter the premise. But in the past 20 years, the value we place on actors has been overshadowed by the value of existing intellectual property. That is a much stronger guarantee of bringing people into the theater and buying a ticket. The age where Brad Pitt, Meryl Streep, Tom Cruise, or Julia Roberts could bring a film to success alone is over. And now those names have been replaced with the names of Star Wars, Marvel, Harry Potter, Fast and Furious. So that's the reality of the situation. And that reality is going to change in the future as the industry changes and as the cinema stock market changes. But by understanding how it works, it gives you the ability to predict or see what's going to happen. And it gives you the opportunity to prepare for it. Thank you so much for watching, and have fun, be safe, and don't forget to love yourself. No, but what I do know is that our high school senior year, we were allowed to choose our class quote. And we had a whole bunch to choose from. And one of them was the shy, like, don't let your dreams be dreams, blah, 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 just do it. And it was the peak when the meme was crazy. We thought it was hilarious. We were like, let's have a meme be our class quote. We love it. It's also inspirational, so it works. But after it was selected, we realized, wait, there's a typo in here. It says, don't let just your dreams just be dreams. Or something like that. Just do it. And we were like, well, that's the wrong quote. Can we fix it? And then the faculty advisor, the teacher who was in charge of student council was like, that's what they voted for. That's what they have to deal with. So that's our class motto. It's this like bullshit.
Don't just let your just dreams just.
Yeah, it's really weird and it doesn't work. That's it. We can cut. Thank you.